Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review with us, the British Fist. I am Mr. Parkin, sporting my England shirt once again for this Thanksgiving special. In this corner, it's not a turkey, no, it's the bobbing NJ.
What's up?
He bobs like a turkey, mind you. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on TNA Impact Wrestling on this Thanksgiving special down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the rich box below.
Right, so after what was a decent to good impact last week, we opened up this week with Kurt Angle. Of course, you know, he attacked James. We found out that he attacked James Storm last week, so I guess it makes sense for him to open the show. He talks about his attack on James Storm, and then we get the Storm stuff coming out to confront Kurt Angle himself.
I think it's quite good because you've had Kurt Angle who said about the fact that you weren't quick enough to get to me. It wasn't that you weren't, oh, I snuck it behind you or anything like that. It was good to get his point across, and then of course Storm came out and got in his place, which was needed because obviously he had a lot to say. I
tell you what, I'm loving James Storm at the moment. I'm very glad they've kept him face. His mic work here I thought was excellent. I enjoyed the mic work. He basically, you know, says that people are tired of talking, and they say that the people are tired of talking, and let's do some ass kissing. Ass kicking. I'm sorry, excuse me. We'll save that for the knockout segment. And then you get this whole thing. You got the focus on their feud going. James Storm, Kurt Angle there, and then you get James Storm beating on Kurt Angle. Sorry, it's hard to keep up with everything in this segment. And then Daniels, Bully Ray, and Jarrett come down, and it's like I'm thinking, is Daniels now an immortal or something? And then you get Storm hitting Angle, Mr. Anderson, RVD, and AJ Styles coming around. It's like it was a little bit of a clusterfuck of a segment. But I guess if they wanted to, that kind of set up the main event in a way, I guess.
I quite like the opening. You had like the whole Storm and thing at the beginning, then the whole main event, wrestlers getting involved. So it kind of added all up to a pretty good thing, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, so it hyped up James Storm's Kurt Angle's feud, which I'm really looking forward to seeing at a pay-per-view, mind you. And then we got this sort of Survivor Series style main event, an elimination tag match announced, Team Angle versus Team Storm, I guess. So overall, I thought it was a good opening segment. I really did enjoy Storm's mic work and the hype there, and then the hype for the main event. Even though it was a little bit clusterfucked, it did its job.
It did, indeed.
Even though I can't believe some of those guys are aligned, but whatever, that's Survivor Series for you. Anyway, next we get the TNA Tag Team Championship rematch between Crimson Morgan and Mexican America. We get a nice little recap of what happened last week when Crimson and Morgan won the titles, which we were quite glad about here at the British Fist. This match was about 2 minutes. We have Crimson and Morgan dominate, and I would say this, I would say, why not have it at the next pay-per-view? But I don't really know what they're going to be doing in Mexican America. Does this mean they're going to write them off TV now they've just lost the titles in the rematch so quickly? You know, it just was to reinforce the fact that Morgan and Crimson won the championships last week, pretty much.
Well, the way I look at it, you had the dominant team retain their titles, which was good and needed because obviously dropping them back to the Mexican Americans would have been bad. I think having Matt Morgan and Crimson do retain was a good job done.
Pretty much dominated 2 minutes, that was it. Retained the title.
2 minutes.
I wonder who they're going to feud with next, though. British Invasion, maybe? What other tag teams have they got to feud with? That's one question I would like TNA to answer in the next couple of weeks. I want to see them on a pay-per-view defending these championships, that's what I'm saying.
They have to start coming up with opponents now, because obviously it won't be Mexican America, it'll have to be someone else.
Yeah, because TNA's tag team division is pretty depleted as it is, so we'll see who they're going to give us. Right, the next half an hour or so of TV was totally devoted to the knockouts. I usually don't mind a lot of time devoted to the knockouts, but this was a lot of time devoted to the knockouts, which probably could have gone to other things on the show. We'll talk about more of that later when we get to the main event. We get a segment involving Karen Jarrett calling out the knockouts, as a group, mind you, and announcing a lingerie match for later on in the show. And I'm thinking, wow, Karen Jarrett, you're really trying to bring some credit to this knockouts division by having a lingerie match, especially after you've told them how they need to cover up and everything.
That was my big problem. I'm thinking, okay, your booking has been out of focus here because you're the manager who wants nothing to be shown. Keep covering up every part you see, and to be honest, to have the lingerie match, it's going back on everything you really stand for. So I think it's kind of messed your character quite a bit here now. Yeah,
I mean, it set up a match later, but I just wonder, TNA, is anyone else other than Karen Jarrett going to get some freaking mic time? Did you notice how this segment was all about Karen Jarrett and Velvet Sky? There was no focus on Gail Kim, no focus on Mickie James, who are going to have a pay-per-view match, and there's no focus on them, and the only focus we get on them is a tiny 2-minute backstage segment in this whole half an hour here. It really does piss me off when they don't focus on what is important, and that is, especially when they have as little TV time as they do, especially with one show a week. I'm just saying.
Well, the way I see it is backstage segments, as important as they are, is the thing that happen in ring that are shown more. And to be honest, she was in a ring surrounded by knockouts, and it was only concentrated on 2 of them. I'm thinking you could have given more mic time to the other ones and made them stand out, have importance to this segment. But we just did not get it.
And like I said, I don't mind the knockouts getting TV time, as they do entertain me more than the WWE Divas. But it's just that what you choose them to do, how much mic time they get, who you focus on. You're supposed to really focus on Gail Kim and Mickie James, who are going to have a pay-per-view match. We get we don't get some backstage segments. We get a whole TV segment of backstage segments, no in-ring shit. We get backstage interview segments where the knockouts are complaining about being in a lingerie match, and I'm thinking to myself, Brooke Teschmacher, Velvet Sky, you've never had a problem with this before. Why are you all of a sudden having a problem with it now? And again, it's focusing more on Karen, Jarrett, and fucking Velvet Sky, and it's pissing me off.
Well, Tara made a good point. She said she's left it all up behind in WWE, all these stupid matches, and she's been moved on to where she can actually wrestle now. So I'm really disappointed that TNA are actually making them do this when they do make a good point there. But
it's one of the reasons we watch TNA for the knockouts and the fact that they actually put some wrestling and effort into their fucking show. We then get a little backstage segment with Gail Kim and Mickie James. You know, this was decent, but could you not put them in the ring? I'm just saying. Then Gail Kim and Madison Rayne end up beating down Mickie James. It's just a tiny bit of what was that big of a segment, focusing on what was important, and that was the pay-per-view match. That's what pissed me off about this whole thing.
And even though Gail Kim and Mickie James didn't really have the best of words to say to each other, they're only talking about what happened early in the night, what's happening now. They didn't really talk about what's going to happen and what's going to be in the future. So I thought this segment, even though it did combine those two against each other, it didn't really do much justice.
We then get the lingerie match. Winter, Angelina, Madison Rayne versus Velvet Sky, Miss Teschmacher, and Tara. In the first ever lingerie match, you know, I don't mind seeing knockouts in lingerie. Some of them are sexy, like Tara, but this match wasn't even that bad. It's just the fact that none of them have anything to do with the pay-per-view, and I'm thinking, what's the point? And secondly, like this whole lingerie thing. Yes, it's nice for eye candy, but it's not doing anything else. It's just, I can understand they're trying to entertain the crowd and they're trying to do something special for Thanksgiving, but this was just like, the match was good, but the booking of it was just, why do they have to have a lingerie match? Seriously.
Well, after Karen Jarrett insulted all men early in the night, when this match certainly came along, I was really against it. And to be honest, as much as I loved seeing these matches, they were good in WWE, I really didn't expect this to actually turn up on a TNA show. Even though they looked good, I won't complain, I enjoyed the look of them, but still, it just weren't what I was wanting to see on the TNA show.
I mean, it got a lot of time, and, you know, the match was decent for a six knockout match. It's got a lot of time. You know, what pissed me off about this was, you had all that bullshit at the beginning with them going, yay! And then you cut a commercial after 1 minute into the match. And it's just like, what, could you not cut down on that and have the match? You know, the end of the match came when Mickie James takes the belt away from Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky wins, you know? And I'm thinking, what's this really going to do for Velvet Sky now that Mickie James has the title shot? It's just like, what's it doing?
Well, I'm glad they had Mickie James doing some involvement in the show, because she didn't have a match, which was disappointing. Exactly. So for her to get involved in this match does give her a step forward into what's to come on her, but to be honest, the whole match itself, you have different opinions. I just really didn't like it that much. I mean, this segment to me wasn't all that bad. It's just that there's no focus on the important people. I mean, if the focus was Karen and Velvet, then they would have achieved it. But the fact is, the focus should be on Gail Kim and Mickie James. And it just seemed like this whole TV segment was done to hype up a feud between Velvet Sky and Karen fucking Jarrett. What a surprise that they're trying to put Karen Jarrett in a prominent TV position, being the wife of Jeff fucking Jarrett, who also gets a prominent TV position even though he's a mid-card piece of fucking shit. And I'm thinking, when I look at this, again, this has come back for the last couple of weeks now. I've really been disappointed with knockouts, and this has done nothing better. It's not improved my thoughts on it. It was just, to be honest, a horrible segment. A lot of TV time as well. And then we get to the Jeff Jarrett segment. He comes out dressed as Jeff Hardy and starts... That mask looks fucking stupid. He starts basically mocking Jeff Hardy and his fans, and I'm thinking to myself here, that's the reaction that Jeff Jarrett wishes he could get, but he'll never be able to get it because he'll never be as big of a star as Jeff Hardy, and that's why I hate this fucking feud. Well, to be honest, it was something different. He was actually getting his point across about Jeff Hardy in a different way than his words, so I thought that was good thinking, but then again, what comes next made it more of a full stop, more of a bigger segment than what it was. You had, what basically happened is you had Hardy beat on Jeff Jarrett, fair enough, it's their feud. Then you have Bully Ray and Christopher Daniels come down to beat on Jeff Hardy, which also brings out AJ Anderson and RVD, and it's like another clusterfuck of segment. I know it's trying to hype up the main event, and it did a decent job of that. It's just,
all the focus was on Jeff fucking Jarrett. And if it's not bad enough that he gets the fucking main event and his wife gets all the fucking mic time and the focus is on her, he gets a segment of his fucking totally own. What happened to it? Why not put an X Division segment? Kind of fill that gap in there from the knockouts or this little thing here with an X Division segment or something that might matter towards the fucking pay-per-view.
Well, what I had a problem with it is, with what you just said, is the fact that at the beginning you had the whole, them all coming out, you had them all come out again in another segment, all about to come out in the main event. So you've had 3 times. Yes, you're hyping it up, but I think you should stuck to the beginning bit and then went on to the main event.
And this was the main problem I had with the show, the structuring, the way that everyone seemed to have to be in 3. Why not have 4 separate segments or 5 separate segments? You could have used some of the time from the knockout segment to highlight these 5 different feuds that are going to be involved in this main event. As much as I don't mind the Survivor Series aspect of the match, you could have structured your show a little bit better and had the pacing a lot better and stuff and booked it to a point where you could have had each of these guys have their individual segments, which wouldn't make these segments such a clusterfuck, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the heels come out on top, good, but it's just the segment itself was kind of like, you know, I don't like the too much focus on Jeff Jarrett, and then all of a sudden it becomes clusterfucked, and we've seen it before.
Yeah, to be honest, again, Jeff Jarrett is still in the spotlight, but he doesn't need to, because the main focus is on Bobby Roode and James Storm or James Storm Angle, whoever you want to look at it. It's just different. They're really doing a bit wrong here.
It was funny tonight how Jeff Jarrett got more TV time than Bobby Roode. Just saying. Even fucking Aaron Jarrett had more TV time than Bobby Roode. That's fucking bullshit booking there, Vince Russo. Eric Young versus Robert E. in a loser wears a turkey suit match. Why?
The night seems to get worse after the knockout, so in this segment here really took my attention from here straight down fast, because to be honest, it wasn't even a proper match that was actually going to lead anywhere. It was entertaining. And I really did not like this match.
What pissed me off about this match is you had Robbie E win, and then you restart the match just so Eric Young can get the pin, and then all of a sudden it turns out that Robbie T has to wear the turkey suit as Robbie E was knocked out, and I'm thinking, what a load of fucking shit. I can understand trying to work to a Thanksgiving theme, but this just was, it wasn't entertaining, it wasn't funny, it wasn't humorous, it was just a load of fucking shit. Right before what I thought was a good main event.
What I'm going to say is that there are people who like Eric Young, but like I said before, every Eric Young segment I've seen has been awful. I cannot stand him, and I think, to be honest, having him wrestle on TV, yes, he got the fans happy, but the whole match tonight was just awful.
And I'll say this. You wonder why the TV title means nothing, TNA. Well, there you go. Right, we then get to our main event, which pretty much covers the last half an hour of the show. So a quarter of the show is this main event. You had Team Storm, Anderson, RVD, AJ, and Hardy versus Team Angle, Jeff Jarrett, Bully Ray, Daniels, and Roode. And firstly, we had Robert Roode on commentary, and Jeff Hardy was injured, so it became a 3-on-3 match. I like the it almost seems like TNA taking a pot shot at Survivor Series and saying, well, we could trot out a Survivor Series match on the main event of our TV show. But I enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed the match.
The match was okay. Again, after the night we've had throughout the show, it kind of really lost my interest. I was hoping for a good main event. And we got an okay main event. Totally got my feelings back up into it, but again, it was just the first time that ruined it for me.
What I don't get is, why is it Team Angle versus Team Storm? Surely it should be Team Roode versus Team AJ, as they're kind of the main event. I can understand trying to promote Angle and Storm, but just something I had there. The World Heavyweight Champion isn't the captain of the team. I don't know. You had Roode low-blowing AJ to get DQ'd, so we didn't have to do a job. That wasn't bad. We had Daniels pinning RVD, continuing their storyline after an Angle interference. So you had a 3-on-1 situation with AJ Styles facing all the heels, and Hardy comes down to help AJ eliminate Daniels, Jeff Jarrett, and Bully Ray in quick succession.
That's what I was going to disappoint. We've had a good flowing match with all the heels facing the faces and all that, and it was all going okay. Jeff comes down, eliminates the load. I'm just like, what a quick rush to get to the end of the match.
And then AJ eliminates Bully Ray last, I believe. You know, I can understand why they did this. They're trying to make their 2 biggest babyfaces in the company look strong, because after the match they had Roode attacking AJ and Hardy post-match, and he stands tall over AJ Styles. Kind of good hype for their pay-per-view match, I guess. So I can understand why they may have booked it that way. But overall, I thought this whole main event segment was very good. I did enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. I did enjoy this main event segment. The Survivor Series feel of it did kind of reminisce to me what I wished I got from the WWE Survivor Series match.
As much as I want to agree with that, it was just the aftermath that actually got my attention more. The match itself, it was a good match, but it's just, again, maybe when Jeff Hardy came down, he did rush it a little bit. And again, it's just the aftermath that got me.
Overall thoughts on the show then?
Oh, I really, really, really do not like this.
Why is that?
Well, we had the good opener of Angle and Storm.
Yeah.
We had the tag match, which was good, and then from then up straight to the main event, it was just boring. I really didn't like it. It didn't give me a positive TNA feeling like I may have got in the past weeks, so I can't really enjoy the show that much.
I can understand that. I think you feel that way because of the way they structured the show, and that's exactly how I feel. But I thought it was a good main event, good opener. The tag team match established what it needed to. The knockout segments, while long, the match was okay, but it didn't have the right focus. The Jeff Jarrett segment hyped up the main event, but give Jeff Jarrett too much time. Karen Jarrett gets too much time on the mic. The structuring of the show was quite bad, in my opinion. You know, I can understand trying to do a Survivor Series type match, and it was a good main event, but did you have to sacrifice all this TV time so the feuds that you were highlighting in that couldn't get shown as much as they should do? And you didn't get an X Division segment in there at all, and it's like, TNA, I think TNA could have done a lot more with their show, and they had a lot of time to. It's just that they decided to structure the show a different way. And this show this week stunk of Russo. I'm just going to put that out there. It stunk of Vince Russo booking. I'm just saying.
Again, I think maybe if we made segments shorter and added more important matches in the show, I would have liked it more. But to be honest, we had the repeated of knockouts. Eric Young got more than one segment. Then it was all about Jeff Jarrett, and I've really lost interest in this show.
What's your overall grading then?
C minus.
C minus. I was going to say C as well. So yeah, I think that's a fair enough grade for me. I did enjoy that main event. That kind of pushed my interest up a lot, and the opener was pretty good. But there we go. That's our opinions on the show this week. Maybe you guys have some different opinions or have the same opinion as us. Get your thoughts on this show down in that comment section below, of course. And even though MJ, you didn't like our TNA this week, I'll allow you to do this outro in a very entertaining manner, like you usually do, like TNA's main event tonight.
Thank you very much. And people, you've heard these words from the British Fist, which is Mr. Parkin and me, MJ. Tune in for next week for our next TNA review. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And now, goodbye, people.